Time to talk business now with none other than the 680 business editor, Richard Southern from 680. Hello, Richard. How are you today?
I'm so glad to see you, Cynthia. I am good. How are you?
Oh, well, you just made my day. Thank you very much. Let's start with some fast food chat. Apparently, the fast food giants are binging up for a big sales year next year. Why is that?
Yeah, you know why that is? It's the munchies, Cynthia.
The munchies.
Because, you know, the federal government going to legalize marijuana for recreational purposes next summer.
Ah.
Yeah, so maybe go to Mickey D's or whatnot for some munchies. You know, there's actually evidence to back this up. There's a report out today that looks at U.S. states where marijuana has been legal for some time, and it found business rising at certain fast food chains. Let's take a look at this. 43% of legal marijuana users say they ate at McDonald's at least once in the past 4 weeks. Again, this is in the States. 18% ate at Taco Bell, while 17.8% went to Wendy's. Other fast food chains that's on uptick because of cannabis consumption, Burger King and KFC. I'm just off the phone with one of the food experts here in Canada, Robert Carter with the NPD Group. He tells me we're probably going to see the same thing happen here north of the border.
The expectation is that snacking occasions may increase, which already in Canada is about a $28 billion industry for restaurants. So this could see a little bit of a spike.
Do you anticipate the likes of McDonald's or Taco Bell or Wendy's advertising to recreational marijuana users directly?
I think because of the sensitivity around it, it's a little too soon to say. But, you know, you do see things on menus that are really geared towards snacking. And that snacking day part has been a growth area of the market over the last couple of years. And then, of course, you know, the all-day breakfast as well.
Cynthia, McDonald's is expected to benefit a bit more than most simply because they have so many locations. So you know, you can debate about whether or not this is a good thing or not, I'm sure, but good for business of these guys, no doubt.
Oh, I'm sure they're rubbing their hands with glee. Now, let's stick with cannabis here. Rapper Snoop Dogg is investing in another Canadian cannabis venture as well.
Yeah, not the first time he's done this, as you say. Rapper Snoop Dogg, he's spending money to make an investment in a Toronto-based company by the name of Trellis. And what they do, they run software for inventory purposes for marijuana companies. They call themselves a seed-to-sale inventory management platform. Last year, Snoop Dogg announced that he would start selling his own branded cannabis through Canopy Growth, one of the largest Canadian medical marijuana producers.
Okay, well, and the world now has a record number of millionaires. And this is interesting, Richard. Canada is creating millionaires faster than the U.S.
Yeah,
that's surprising.
It is. Maybe the housing sector certainly has something to do with that, Cynthia. But look at this. According to Capgemini's annual wealth report, the number of millionaires globally up 8%. There's 16.5 million people in the world that have investable assets over the $1 million mark. Total wealth at a record $63.5 trillion. Let's look country by country. Russia actually creating the most millionaires, or creating the most number of new millionaires over last year, 19.7% uptick. Indonesia and the Netherlands seeing a big jump as well. Canada creating 11.3% more millionaires over last year. We have 357,000 of them. The U.S., though, home to the most millionaires, sin at 4.8 million. So the takeaway here, the rich getting even richer.
That's right. Okay, and let's talk about somebody who was very wealthy and the world's biggest playboy. Hugh Hefner has passed away at 91, and he leaves behind a Playboy empire that's very different than the one he originally started. And the money is still coming in, Richard, but it's not from the magazine, a sign of the times, perhaps?
Yeah, most of the dough, $55 million a year, actually, coming from licensing deals. That's how they make their money at Playboy. They sell the rights for other people to use the bunny ears logo. It's a very wealthy part of the business. Playboy used to be a publicly traded company. Hefner took it private in 2011. They sold the Playboy Mansion last year for $100 million, half the asking price. The home was never technically owned by Hefner. It was owned by Playboy Enterprises. They leased it back to him. Cynthia, it's believed he had a net worth of around $50 million at the time of his passing last night.
Well, that's quite the life and career that he had, and lots of controversy today about whether or not he added to the world and women's causes or not.
Yeah, and absolutely.
Some of the world's biggest, yeah, we're not going to touch on that right now. Let's just smooth that one over. Some of the world's biggest car makers have started advertising their vehicles directly to women in Saudi Arabia. Of course, this is all stemming from the big move there for women being able to drive.
Yeah, that's right. Announced the other day that for the first time they will allow women to drive in Saudi Arabia as of June of next year. And so we're looking at some of the tweets here from the big automakers trying to advertise directly to the women there in Saudi Arabia. Firms including VW, Ford, and Nissan. This represents a big new market for them. 29 million people in Saudi Arabia. A lot of wealthy people due to the oil money. Of course, this move as well could pose a threat to the 800,000 or so foreign chauffeurs that Saudi Arabia had been bringing in to drive women around, so they could have their jobs threatened because of this.
Fascinating, and still, I'm still can't believe that in 2017 they're only going to be able to allow to drive now.
Yeah.
Okay, let's end. We started with fast food. We're going to end with fast food. Burger King in Russia wants to ban the movie It, which I'm still afraid to see, because the company thinks the evil clown looks too much like another famous clown. Let me guess.
Speaking of Mickey D's, you tell me what you think, right? I mean, BK.
Yeah, they're kind of the same, similar.
Burger King is worried that they look so similar that the movie could act as advertising for McDonald's. So it's appealing to the Russian government's anti-monopoly service.
I don't know. Does that make you want to have a Big Mac looking at that scary clown? I don't know.
I actually saw the movie this past weekend, and it was frightening. So it did not make me think of McDonald's in any way, shape, or form. But there you go. They're worried about that at BK, apparently, Sin.
Interesting. Well, I'd love to hear how that ends out. You'll have to let us know when the decision is made. All right, Richard, as always, thanks so very much.
Thanks.